Cool. Okay. Here is Amanda. Pick a number from 1 to 21 and we will go.
1.
Why do you believe storytelling is important?
Why do I believe storytelling is important? That's a better question for Neil. Why is storytelling important? I think because if you're talking about, to me the bigger question is maybe like, why is fiction important and things that aren't real, and why is it important for us to come up with things that aren't real but are kind of close to real.
That last night you also said about Lou Reed telling great stories.
Yeah, I mean, Lou Reed wasn't necessary. Well, I feel like there's two different kinds of stories. There's stories that you totally make up out of thin air, and you totally use your imagination. You've got that on one end, and then you've got, you know, writing a song about your drag queen friend on Smack, which is very real. And then you have the wonderful gray area in between where you take ingredients from life and you confabulate them into some amazing, you know, work of art that resonates with other human beings. And if we were just literal all the time, I feel like there would almost be no point in staying alive. I really think we need, you know, we need to be able to escape reality in order to get the perspective to understand it and enjoy it, if that makes sense.
Yes. Cool. So
when you go back and you watch it again.
Yeah. Do you think hero worship is helpful or harmful for both fans and artists?
I think it depends whether it's done in a crazy, fucked up stalker way or in a healthy way. Go ahead.
Okay. Mildly related. Of all the different expressions of admiration that your fans have for you, which do you find the most flattering? So, like, for example, getting tattoos or asking for photos with you, or like giving you things.
I think it's kind of apples and oranges because I think everyone is different, you know, and it's not a contest. And that's like saying, you know, of all the people who have ever been in love with you, who did it the best. It doesn't work like that. When someone wants to express admiration or gratitude, they do it in their own specific way that makes sense to them, and it doesn't make sense to say that one is better than the other. Or not.
If you could pick any artist to cover any one of your songs, who would it be and which song?
I would have Miley Cyrus do an acoustic guitar cover of Have a Chat. Just for the exposure.
If you are on a desert island, you can choose 5 people, 5 books, and a person's iPod. Which people, which books, and whose iPod?
5 people, 5 books. God, that's a long list. It's a trick answer, but I would just pick the person with the largest iPod. and I would just pick my 5 best friends. And 5 books. That's tough because I would want some stuff that I haven't read yet. I've never really figured out Gravity's Rainbow, so I would bring Gravity's Rainbow. I'd probably bring the Bible because I've never read it and I've always been meaning to get around to it, and it's pretty long and clunky. I'd bring another long book like War and Peace, which would probably take me ages to plow through. I'd just bring really long books so that I didn't get bored. You know, I'd bring like Berlin Alexanderplatz, you know, like all the volumes, and I would just like read it very, very slowly so I never ran out of book.
What's your advice for when you feel like you're an underachiever for yourself and you're not living up to your own expectations?
You know, just practicing a kind of a radical self-acceptance. It's very hard to do, and I often am very disappointed in myself, but accepting that shit's not going to be perfect, and that you're not going to be perfect, is it's a very difficult thing to do, but when you manage to, it's very liberating.
So you described the house parties as balm for the soul, but do you ever find them emotionally draining when there are so many people trying to connect with you?
Yeah.
And what do you do when you feel emotionally drained?
Just
How do you recharge?
How do I recharge? I mean, after a really long... It's usually when things are really like clustered together, It's not like I'll have one house party that's really exhausting, but like doing 6 in a week and not getting a lot of time to myself can just start to feel really repetitive. So I just try to set my life up in such a way where I get proportionate amounts of time alone to be with myself, get my work done, center myself, and then go out and do a bunch of social shit. And that's just a question of scheduling.
So you mentioned you're not going to be touring for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, would you ever consider doing house parties almost as a tour substitute, as a way to still connect with people without being tied into an actual tour?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'll probably still be doing gigs here and there, wherever I am. But I don't think anytime soon I'm gonna like put together a giant world tour and get in a bus and go. I've been doing that for years and years and years and years and years, and I need to take a break.
So are there any songs you would never play without Florian?
Ooh. That's a really good question. There are certain songs that I haven't wanted to arrange with this band, just because they don't need bass and guitar. There are certain songs like, just trying to think. Well, also, you know, the one song that the Dolls used to play a lot that I wouldn't ever do with the band is War Pigs. Because we had such a perfect arrangement, and the kind of the beauty of it is that it was a drums and piano arrangement, and that's what made it so awesome. So now that I have the actual instrumentation of Black Sabbath, I could probably do a much more faithful cover, but I wouldn't want to, because I liked our fucked up version of it.
You've mentioned you haven't written very much over the last few years, and now you're going to concentrate on it. Do you anticipate any changes in your writing now that you're married to Neil, you're in quite a different emotional place? Do you think there'll be any changes?
Yes.
Or how so?
Don't know.
Okay. Can you give any sort of teaser about the book?
Oh, well, I can tell you what I've probably already said on the blog, which is it's going to be nonfiction. It's going to be basically based on the ideas in the TED Talk, but going a lot deeper. But it's going to be a combination of memoir and ideas about asking art and money, commerce, and things like that.
Cool. And one more answer. What is your feel-good song? Maybe that wasn't such an easy one.
I have a bunch. I mean, Bittersweet Symphony by The Fair usually makes me feel ecstatically happy. I like going jogging through it.
Good.
Next time we should not do the interview in the hallway.